Alright guys and gals, I got a little quick tip for you today on battery maintenance and battery types and brands to get also. So it's a pretty basic subject. I'm just going to go through it step by step and we're going to go over it, and I'll give you a few quick tips here and there on things to do and not to do. So as you can see, this one's pretty corroded, especially right here, and over here you get in these areas right here, and then you start losing your contact, and you can have a slow crank, you can have a no crank, a bunch of different concerns like that. You may have check engine lights coming on from low voltage codes that will set it. All kinds of issues can happen, weird electrical issues based on poor connections, corroded connections. So the first thing we're going to do is take off the negative battery cable so we don't short anything out. And you may need to spread the terminals like so. Flat blade screwdriver will work also, and then you can start working it off of there. Some of these, from all the corrosion right here, they're a real bear to get off, so you have to kind of do what you can to help them off. Prying devices, all kinds of stuff. You can see why it was so hard to get off. It's a lot, a real lot. Now this is a 06 Montego, and they're prone to it because there's no skirt up front here by the headlamps down below to stop all the debris from the road coming up and laying all over the engine here. That's the same thing on both sides, and they get real nasty. I don't know why they did that. So we're going to isolate the negative while we pull off the positive, and hopefully the positive comes off a little bit easier. Same thing, most of them are 8mm, if not they're 10, unless you got something really old, and then the battery terminals are usually, the nut right here is usually a 13mm. This one, you got a little more leverage and it's not so bad. So we're going to put that back there. And then there's going to be a bolt right here on this side that's the hold down, and it clamps it down and pushes it back and clamps it down. And that's 8mm. And that'll either be like this, where it's really long, or it'll be a regular bolt like this, and the head will be right here. Either way, it should be 8mm. These ones are a lot harder to get off because it'll twist. If they're stuck down here, this will twist instead of actually turning it. This one came out really easy. Now, while we got this out, clean the threads, and then put some anti-seize on here, and that'll protect it from any kind of battery acid that gets down in there, and you won't end up snapping it. And then we're going to get the battery up and out of here before you start trying to clean these terminals. And some of these, just like this one, are really hard to get to and pull out of there because they got no actual handle on them. You got to like squeeze them. Okay, so we're going to put the battery terminals back over the box here, and then we're going to start cleaning them up. Now you can see this one is all clean back here, so we're not going to have to touch this. We're going to have to concentrate on this area, and of course the whole terminal on this one. So get something like this from the parts store, some kind of battery cleaner. It's a foaming battery cleaner. We're going to get in all the areas. We're going to let it do its thing for a little bit. Now you can also use baking soda and some warm water mixed in a bowl and make like a paste, and then you can paste it all over it, and it'll eat up all the corrosion on there, and it should neutralize the acid also. This is doing the same thing but in like a foaming spray form. And I've also heard people using a can of Coke and they pour it on here and it'll eat all that garbage off of there too. But we use the spray stuff from the parts store for ease, and it works really well. I'm going to do a second application, let it really get in there. And what's best after all this is done cleaning is to actually use a garden hose to really spray it all off of there and get everything off of there. I don't have access to a garden hose, but that would be best, and then you can clean out the tray too. So we're going to let that soak for a while, and then we're going to do a scrubbing, and then we're going to probably spray it again. These are pretty bad. Okay, well, the foam is still on there. Well, not anymore, I guess, huh? We're going to start scrubbing it. Make sure you have safety glasses on. This is going to be an acidic type gunk here that's been spraying everywhere when you're scrubbing it. So we're just going to scrub all the areas. I like to use a brush like this because it'll get in this groove right here, whereas other battery brushes, they don't get in here too well. So we're going to get the most out of here we can. This side's not as important as the inside, where it actually contacts the battery post, but it's still important. And we're going to get the underside too. Start breaking it up, and then we'll spray it again, and it can start eating away at the stuff underneath. Well, the stuff we broke up. You can see it's looking a lot better already. And then here's an actual battery tool that's made to go down in there, negative side and positive side. And you can get the inside of the terminal where it actually contacts the battery post. That's the most important spot. Do this side too. And we're gonna let these sit for a little bit more. Let's see, we're breaking a lot of stuff up. And gloves are a good idea, obviously. This stuff will sting and start, burning the skin. But I think eye protection is more important than anything. They're starting to look pretty good. You can only get in so far on these terminals. And then at this point, it'd be best to spray it off with high pressure garden hose, and it'll get in all these crevices, but all I got is brake clean. So we're going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to blow them out while it's still wet. And that'll get out any remaining powder that you broke up and it's still in there. And then I'll just check them over, and these look pretty darn good. You can see there's going to be some discoloration and damage, but as long as we're down at the copper, you can see it on there. Make one heck of a better connection. And then as a final step, I use a reamer like this to really get it clean. And that'll take a layer off. so we have full contact. And now it's nice and shiny inside of here. Blow it out again. And now it's new battery time. Before you forget, put in the hold down clamp for it, and it goes like this with this edge right here facing the battery. Now, if you are reusing the old battery, the other part of this reamer, this will take a layer off from the actual terminals. You just twist it on there. This is the positive side, and this is the negative side. And it'll fit both of them, and it'll take a layer off of here so there's good clean connection also. And then what I use is actual silicone brake dielectric grease, the thicker stuff, not regular silicone grease. This is stuff for brake jobs and stuff. And I put it on the terminals themselves. Nice even coat. And then I put it on the actual terminal itself. And this stuff won't have no parasitic drain issues like the old greases of yesteryear. And it'll protect the terminals a lot better from that acid than that spray ever will. As you saw, this one had the spray on it. This one especially, you saw it all over it, the yellowish coating on there, and you saw the corrosion just went right through it. So this on here will do a lot better job. And then we can start tightening it down. We'll do our positive first. Just tighten it down. Hand tight's good. And then make sure I put a little bit more on there. Something like that. On all your surfaces. And that'll protect it from the acids. Cover that one up. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Tighten it down. Alright, so that's about it. I just want to show you what I do and all the important key factors when changing a battery out or just doing maintenance. The other thing I want to go over is battery brands. I'm not going to knock anybody because I'm paid by Motorcraft or not. I'm definitely not paid by Ford or Motorcraft to sell their batteries, but the Motorcraft ones we never have problems with. If we do, it's 3 to 5 years down the road, and that's about the time to change a battery anyways. But these things have a long battery life and a very long warranty on them. So they last a really long time, and we have no issues with these, unlike interstate batteries, and especially the Walmart EverStart batteries. Do not ever buy the Walmart EverStart batteries. Interstates are okay, but we seem to be changing those a lot. There's a lot of corrosion and problems with those, not holding a charge. But the Walmart EverStart's the absolute worst. The Duralast ones from AutoZone, those we barely see any issues with, surprisingly. And then of course anything like off-brand, like the Blaine's batteries, we see a lot of problems with, and Ameristarts, I think they're called, and stuff like that. Those really cheapy batteries, you're going to have issues because the quality of the plates in here are just not up to snuff, and they will degrade quickly. Whereas the Fords, they put a lot of technology in them. You see the sales flyers for these things and how advanced they are, with the plate separation and improvements in there, so that they don't break down from vibrations and such like that. So what I can tell you is from 8 years, 9 years of experience that the Motorcrafts are the best we've seen. And then I would say the Duralast is the next best based on experience. I know Optima is out there, and they're really expensive, and they're kind of specialty, but I've heard that the last couple of years they went way downhill, so I don't recommend them either. So that is about it. Hopefully this helps you and demystifies a few things about pulling your battery out and cleaning or changing it, and make sure you had no issues in the winter time with no crank situations.